When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Yes, another radio adventure is in store as we've assembled tremendous guests in a variety of topics today on this show. So whether you're listening right here in Houston, Texas, Sugar Land, you may be in Katy, Texas, Denver, Colorado, wherever you are, sit back and enjoy the show. If you're driving, just drive along. Right now, our first guest is Louisa Deason in the credit restoration business. Her company is called Deason's Consulting Services. She's right here. Louisa, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me on again.
Here you are. It's been a while, though. We need to get up to date on what's going on in credit restoration and in your world. But first, let's tell people your company is Deason's Consulting Services.
That is correct. And what we do is we have aligned ourselves with a group that's a nonprofit. It's a 501c3 organization where we have attorneys that are licensed and bonded and certified credit restoration people. They're attorneys, they're experts in any and all legislation related to credit. And the advantage is because we don't pay them $1,000 an hour, our clients have a very, very reasonable payment without a contract.
That sounds like a great idea and a great way to serve your clients.
Exactly. So one of the things that we like to educate our public about is there's a difference between what credit repair and credit restoration is.
And what is that difference? I was just wondering.
So credit restoration means we have licensed attorneys that are actual credit restoration specialists, licensed in all 50 states. And the difference is that we have the legal authority to dispute all three credit bureaus at the same time with all of the negative and derogatory items simultaneously. Most repair companies bind their customers into a long-term contract, or they nickel and dime them per item because they don't have that same legal authority, and they're only able to dispute one or two items at a time, once per month, once per credit bureau. And that's what normally gives this industry such a bad name. People get frustrated, they don't see results, and then there's a huge lack of communication. And so where we're passionate is we believe in not only keeping the customer informed about what's going on with their credit and the restoration process, but we go to great lengths to also create and develop those relationships with whoever sent us the referral, whether they're a loan officer, whether they're a realtor, whether they're a CPA, a financial advisor. It doesn't really matter. We believe in creating those relationships.
And the credit reporting agencies, they don't sleep either. 24/7. They're on the job checking. It has to be fascinating to look behind the curtain to see how they work and how they know so much about, it seems like, each and every transaction.
Well, let me just say this. They're private companies. They're for profit. They don't have your best interest at heart. They really want to make money with things that are reported, and every time there's an inquiry, they make money. So two of the credit bureaus are actually owned and operated by someone in Dublin, Ireland. Why I want somebody in Dublin, Ireland having all of my personal information, I don't know. And the third is owned by somebody who is in Goldman Sachs. Now, didn't Goldman Sachs get in trouble back in the Enron days? So there's certain things that I'm just not comfortable with other people that don't have any business knowing my business having at their fingertips.
Well, let's tell people, as far as people are out there and let's say they've had credit problems or whatever, who are the candidates for who are the best candidates for your services?
So what we specialize in is things like bankruptcies that have been discharged if it's been a year from the date of discharge, any kind of foreclosure, bankruptcies, any kind. It doesn't matter what it is. Foreclosures, repossessions, any kinds of collections, specifically medical. And then, of course, things like tax liens, judgments that have been finalized, all kinds of charge-offs and late payments. So that's what we specialize in. And what we come in kind of like, I love to give this description. We kind of come in like the bull in the china shop, and we just are relentless. We don't give up.
And that's how you serve your clients.
And
You're
that's how we
there
serve
on
our
the
clients.
job for them, helping.
We also give our clients identity protection. We're going to teach them how to build positive credit. We explain why the dispute process works the way it does. And so if people come to me and they want debt consolidation, that's not what we do. I'm not going to help somebody consolidate debt. We don't believe in that just because of the way it's reported. The second thing we don't do is we will give them access to a specific client portal only they have access to. We follow very strict federal guidelines to protect their privacy. And the advantage is that they are also seeing the reports and what's happening to their reports. You know, a well-informed consumer is going to do much better at this process than an uneducated and uninformed consumer.
And October is many things, but it's also Cybersecurity Month, by the way. I just realized that this morning. Let's tell people about the identity protection, because cyber awareness is on all our minds right now.
So when someone's identity has been stolen, what happens is a lot of things they'll report. A lot of things will be reported on their credit reports that simply isn't them. And so oftentimes if we deal with a person who's a victim of identity theft, it does require a police report, then go down to their local precinct, file a police report, get us the record number, and what we can do is we can actually attach that to the dispute letter saying this isn't the right person. And it's incumbent on the credit bureau to then verify the validity of something up to 100%. Not 97%, 100%. So if it's not them, they must legally remove it. And what we do is we hold them accountable to the law that protects the consumer, called the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1971.
So let's tell people, if someone has credit problems, they need credit restoration, you're the go-to person. How long? Give them an idea, and I would guess it depends is the answer, yes. But let's tell people, what would they expect if they came to you with their problem, and from a time standpoint, how does that unfold?
So I think it depends on, obviously, how many items they have. But the advantage is because we're the most aggressive company in the country in the way that we dispute things, you know, I have clients that normally see a lot of the magic happen between 6 and 12 months. Now, that's not to say if I get a client that only has 3 items in collections that it's going to take us 6 to 12 months. It may take us far less than that. I can't ever give a guarantee in my business that there's a timeline. However, I can tell you that we will dispute things the same way, whether you have 3 items on your credit reports or whether you come to me with 47 items on your reports. I actually have a customer that started with me 14 months ago. She had 47 items to dispute.
That's a lot.
And we've disputed all but 2 in record time.
And let's give people an idea. When we think about items, when you're mentioning 42 items or whether it's 5, or what would one of those items look like?
Well, this particular customer came to us with like 5 charge-offs, 9 late payments,
and
2
what's
repos.
A charge-off? What's a charge-off?
Charge-off is when you have a debt that you can no longer pay, and they get frustrated and they write it off, and you agree to pay a certain amount, but it's still money owed.
So that's always on your record.
And I tell people all the time, if it's a collection, don't just assume that because it's in collections, you'll never owe another dime on that. It's negotiable debt, but it's still money that's owed. The difference here is what we're looking for is an original document that's transferred over to a collections agency, specifically if it's medical, for example.
And it dawns on me
it's
that
about privacy. There's a document they cannot have in their possession. It's against the law.
There are things that happen to us that just happen, and especially in the world probably of medical bills and debts and things like that. But there's also the category of people get in trouble by just poor self-management and not running their home like a business, because it is that, whether you're single or whether you're married, you're running your own business and you need to tend to things in the proper way. Pay your bills on time. Don't spend more than you make. So sometimes we get in trouble just because of our own bad practices, right?
So I tell people all the time, first and foremost, let's just make sure people understand it. This doesn't just affect a certain category of an economic level. This affects everybody. I have doctors and lawyers and CEOs of large companies that lost a job, and 2 or 3 years later, they're struggling to pay their bills. And so I tell people there's 2 things you can't cheat. That's death and paying your taxes. But we can help you restore your credit. So it doesn't matter what walk of life you are. At some point in time, you're either going to have a divorce, you're going to have a loss of a job, or you're going to have to file for bankruptcy, because the number one reason people file medical bankruptcy in this country is because of medical debt.
That's right. And that can happen.
So life happens. You know, I can tell you I'm a product of my own program. My own score went up 105 points in less than 100 days. I know it works.
So from when someone's going through the process, what are some of the challenges that they're going to face, and how are you coaching that person when they use your services, and whether it's a year it takes to get back on track, or what are some of the challenges they're going to face as they go through this, and what should their mindset be?
I think that first and foremost, the mindset has to be they have to be patient. You know, these items didn't occur overnight, and they haven't remained overnight on their reports. It's taken years. They've been on those reports probably months, if not years, and it's not going to take us overnight to remove those items legally. The dispute process takes almost 60 days per period. It is a legal fight with attorneys and the challenge of having these companies produce specific information. And if they don't, then they must legally remove those items from the reports. This is not a quick fix. I can't do anything in 30 or 60 days. People just need to exercise patience.
And Louisa, you also reach out to real estate professionals and speak at their meetings and classes and things like that, right?
Yes, we do. We give free credit seminars to educate realtors on how to help their clients. We do home buyer seminars with realtors and with other people. I do a lot of things with Chris Kelso. As we know, he's both
We
a
love
mutual
Chris
friend.
Kelso,
We love him
yes.
to pieces. He hands me a lot of business. And so I go into realtors' offices and I go into other mortgage companies, and I always am promoting the fact that there is hope for those individuals who they thought was a lost cause that they couldn't close. And if they just give us 6 or 12 months, I'm sure that we could increase their sales volume.
And if there's someone young out there listening, a teenager, whatever, prevention is a great word here too. Have good financial practices, the things that we can control. Let's have those good practices, put them in place. And the next 30 seconds, what else should people know, and how can they reach you?
Well, my phone number is 832-244-2488. They can look me up on Facebook also. It's Deason's Consulting Services. And we also provide the youth with scholarships. We do this every year. Last year, we awarded $350,000 worth of scholarships. We went in and taught children between the ages of 8 and 18 about fiscal responsibility. And this year, it's projected to be about $420,000. We're passionate about making a difference in the educational piece about this.
Doing tremendous work every day. Louisa Deason, give her a call at 832-244-2488.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Louisa.
Thank
We're coming
you.
right back with even more. Stewart Insurance is proud to sponsor Real Estate Matters. As a Stewart company, we focus on uniting real estate and insurance. Our goal is for all clients to be properly insured. When you are properly insured, you're confident in the insurance decisions you make. Whether it's professional liability or homeowner's insurance, everyone deserves to be confident. We invite you to join the properly insured Stewart Insurance. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. Stewart Insurance, stewartinsurance.com. And here we go. Our guest is Linda Hardwick. She is with eXp Realty. Linda, welcome to the show.
Hello, Bill. Thanks for having me on today.
Here you are. And we just saw you at an event last week and said, Linda, come on the show. Let's tell people about what you're doing in real estate, but also let's tell people about eXp Realty.
Well, Bill, it's funny because I'm pretty much a rookie in the real estate industry. I've only been doing this for 3 years. And I started with one of your household brands. I really got in because I did 27 years of sales in the corporate world and just had a passion to do real estate. And so finally made the move. Got on a team, which I recommend to anybody that's new into real estate. That's the most important thing. Find a team and a team leader that's going to train you in the way to go. And that's what I did. And one day I went and sat on a presentation about a brand new cloud-based agent-owned brokerage, and literally stood up when it was over, handed in my business card and said, I'm in, call me.
And that cloud-based business
Was
brokerage is eXp.
eXp Realty. And it's sort of a brilliant idea. It is ownership where there's all kinds of ways to get stock. They offer, every time I bring on a new agent, I get shares. My first transaction every year, I get shares. 5% of my commission, I buy shares at a 20% discount. So when you have agents that own the brokerage, we're very passionate about the reputation of that brokerage. So we're working hard to do the best job we can for our clients because we realize that we're the face of the company, and the better we do, the better we look, the more business we bring, and the more our stock goes up. So that was a brilliant idea. But the one thing I think that was most impressive to me about eXp was I talked to a lot of realtors, and including my former team leader. And the one thing I hear agents talk about is an exit strategy. And, for real estate agents, that's not as easy because, we're a eat what you kill business. We don't work, we don't make money. So what was fascinating about this to me was with EXP, I can recruit agents not as a team member. I could bring on a seasoned broker who's got 15 people on their team and recruit them into EXP, and I'm going to earn income on what they sell.
So in a way, you're like a broker, but not being a broker.
Exactly.
Kind of, sort of, as far as the compensation or the potential parts of that.
And I'm not the broker. In fact, my license is actually held in Austin, Texas. We have a state license, so anybody that is anybody that's an agent in Texas, your license is actually held at the brokerage in Austin. I use the word multi-level marketing, but I know that immediately conjures negative images in people's minds, but that is sort of what it is like. If I recruit you, Bill, and I bring you on as an agent, then I'm going to make a certain amount of money off of your production. And anybody you recruit, I'm going to make a certain amount of money off their production. And anybody they recruit, and it goes 7 tiers deep. So we have huge brokers with huge teams making the move because they see the value in being able to have a residual income.
Interesting model. And here we are in the 4th largest city, soon to be the 3rd, people are saying all the time. And many brokers and many companies are out there, each one with a little different program and vantage point on things. Let's tell people, as far as your buyers and sellers, Linda, when you're out there, how do you approach the real estate world? Do you do it geographically? If so, what are the areas that you cover? Or how do you approach your world as far as finding buyers and sellers?
So when I first got into the business, when you start from the ground floor, you go where you can find a deal. So if you go look at my demographics on HAR right now, I'm everywhere. I've sold a house in Brenham, the Heights, near North, Katy, Sugarland, Cypress, Spring, the Woodlands. I did 23-acre country property in Montgomery. So I've made my way around. I live and prefer to work sort of in the northwest area, which is where I'm beginning to focus my business. And I would say I was a buyer's agent for 2 years. I've now switched over and am doing listings as well. I approach the market it's the one thing that I have to say is every Monday morning, I'm in Fulshire at a broker's office that's with EXP for training and accountability. And so every morning we're talking about lead generation and marketing your listings and what's going on in the real estate market. So for me, my passion is first-time home buyers. And I find that it's happened sort of organically that I end up working with a lot of folks that are first-time home buyers. There's nothing more satisfying to me than working with people and getting them from the beginning of the process to the end of the process. And they actually go, wow, this was so easy. Your job must be so easy. And
not really.
And it's not. But
if you make it look easy, means you're doing something right.
That's right. And that's the testament to me that I kind of go, that's awesome, because that's what my real estate agent did for me when I bought a home, which ended up being my team leader, by the way.
What comes to mind, though, as far as the idea of the first-time home buyers, how do you find them? Or how are they finding you? What are you doing?
Organically, they've just sort of appeared, which is kind of the thing that's led me to go, wow, I really like working with these buyers. So I have done home buying seminars with small companies. I find the bigger companies are a little more challenging to get into their HR departments. But when you go into these small companies and you do home buying seminars and teach people, a lot of people don't understand that they can actually afford to buy a home.
So and of course, right now, interest rates are so low.
It's crazy.
There's never been a time. In fact, I mentioned to my son just about a month ago, I said, listen, if it's time to upgrade, he's in San Antonio, it's time to upgrade your home. If you were ever thinking about it, the interest rates are right. So go do it. In fact, they're in that process right now.
I was working with...
And they have a first-time home buyer couple looking at their home. So they're being extra critical on the inspection report.
They're so appreciative, too. The thing that is so interesting is I was working with buyers, and we were able to... and not long ago, and they ended up giving up the search. They're very particular. We could not find what they looked for. They finally said, we're going to take a break because they were exhausted. So when interest rates, and it was actually ended up being a really good thing, interest rates sort of dropped a little bit. Actually, interest rates dropped a lot during the interim. And I got back on the phone with them. I said, we need to go because where you could afford this much house.
All of a sudden.
And boom. And we went out and found the perfect home for them. And they were so excited.
That is a good word there. So many things come into play during the transaction. Timing is certainly one of them. And having our eyes and ears open for ourselves and our clients is important to help them realize to get the most for their money and to also make them realize in the cases you mentioned that some people can afford homes where they didn't think they could. Now's the time.
It is the time.
What's your feel as we're winding up the year here, Linda? How do you think it's going to end, and perhaps what challenges may await us for 2020, if any?
So this is what I'll say. Calling all sellers right now, because the truth is I'm talking to my lenders, and they're saying we're still getting a flow of loan applications almost as steady as if we were in the middle of the summer. So we still have tons of buyers coming to buy. We need inventory.
Calling all
sellers. And if you need to list, I know a really good real estate agent.
Her name perhaps is Linda Hardwick right there.
It is.
Linda, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
You can reach me at 713-705-6555. And
one more time?
713-705-6555.
And before we close out, in the last 20 seconds, what else do you want people to know?
If you are ready to sell your home, I would love to work with you. But beyond that, I work with a group. We have a 50-point marketing plan that guarantees to get your home sold quickly and for more money.
And they can find out more at 713-705-6555. Linda Hardwick. Thank you, Linda, for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill.
And we're coming right back. Stay with us. Cyber criminals are on the offensive. In real estate, the average loss of a wire fraud scheme is $130,000. How do we fight these risks? Establish a good defense. At Stewart Insurance, we believe there are two sides to a formidable defense. Manage the risk, offset the risk with insurance. Concerned if your insurance is offsetting the cyber risk? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if you are properly insured. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827, 866-798-2827. And here we go. We now have Jerry Flowers. He was with the United States Army. Jerry, for how many years?
21.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
And right now with RE/MAX, the Flowers team. Jerry, welcome to the show. Let's tell people the marketplace and the area that you serve.
So the areas that I serve are Missouri City, Sugar Land, Katy, Pearland, Fulshire, and anywhere in the southwest part of Houston. But I have gone to the Heights, downtown Houston, anywhere within the Houston and the surrounding greater areas.
Let's give people an idea. When we think about Missouri City, Katy, Sugar Land, the marketplaces there, give us an idea of some of the differences. And I hear they're all doing very well. But from your perspective, you're there every day. What's happening?
I mean, new construction all over. People are buying and selling. I mean, the market is hot. People say it's slowing down, or they see it, we're in the off season, fourth quarter, but we haven't been as busy as this time ever. So it's a really thriving market.
It is so amazing. These last few years of doing the show, that's been the answer almost every guest, every show, almost that is. And it seems to me, when will it stop? Maybe never, but people are moving into Texas every day.
That's correct. A lot of the clients that I work with, they're coming in from out of Houston. I do a lot of Zillow work, so I meet new people coming in every day, people taking new jobs, people relocating, people joining their families. I'm picking up a lady from the airport Saturday night at 9 o'clock, 75-year-old lady that just sold her home in San Diego, California, and she's a referral, and she's moving to Katy.
Just right there, San Diego to Katy. Correct. She's going to find some value compared to with her San Diego dollars if she just sold her home, right?
Absolutely. It's a cash deal.
And she's going to say, wow, We'll find out on the weekend, right?
We will. Sunday we will.
So let's tell people, going back to that, of about 10 people that you're helping as far as buyers, how many of them are from out of Houston?
Like currently residing?
Like
or
right now, the buyers that you're serving in the last 10?
50-50.
50-50.
50-50.
So and when they come from other places, where do they end up between, let's say, Sugar Land, Katy, Missouri City?
So the biggest...
And what makes them decide one versus the other?
So number one is schools. I work with a lot of families, so their biggest concern are the schools. Number two is the price point to get them in the schools that they desire. So, if you're looking for a 4 or 5 bedroom brand new home, you're not going to go to Clemens High School unless you go out to Clemens Crossing. There's only one area in all of Sugar Land that offers brand new construction. Okay, so we usually just determine off our first visit, hey, here's where we're at, this is what we want, and we analyze, and I tell them, okay, let's be, reasonable and realistic, and let's meet your goals.
Now, when we hear people talk about Katy, Texas, and I live very close to it, I might as well be in Katy, but I'm in Houston, they always talk about those Katy schools. When I hear people talk about Sugar Land, they talk about how great the Sugar Land schools are.
So I'm going to say it's more geographically based on where you want to be closer to, but they're very comparable. I'm going to give the nod to Katy. You have Tompkins High, you have Seven Lakes High, Katy High, Katy Taylor, Cinco Ranch High. So they have more variety, more schools. But I'm going to say that I'd give the nod to Katy, but you can't beat Clemens High School, Austin,
and that's
Dulles.
in Sugar Land.
Right. Ridge Point, that's from Missouri City, or Elkins. They're all very good schools.
What's going on in Fulshire?
Fulshire, a lot of new construction, a lot of thriving activity, great title company.
You mean like Stewart Title?
Stewart Title, correct.
Like Amy?
Amy Okers, exactly.
Doing tremendous
She's
work
doing
out
great
there
work out
every
there.
day, I hear.
Every day.
Super awesome. So let's tell people now on the selling side. Again, we're thinking about that area, and I mentioned at the beginning you have the team. You have about 5 people helping you with for your buyers and sellers. But take the sellers right now.
Correct.
A seller in Katy, a seller in Sugar Land. How are you coaching right now the sellers out there, and what challenges may there be for a seller at this point in time, if any?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is new construction, and you have to price the home correctly. And so when you come in and you give your analysis, I like to be blunt, using tact and being respectful, but you have to tell the truth. A lot of agents will come in and they're just going to be yes ma'am, no ma'am, and they're going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. Then their house sits on the market for 6 months.
Nobody wants that.
No. So, you have to be, it's kind of a gray area. You have to be careful what you tell them, because if they've been in the house 20 years and they're sitting on Formica countertops, they're not going to get top dollar, especially if they have new construction all around. So you have to price it reasonably, price it correctly, or they have to make the necessary upgrades to get their home sold.
And you help them with all that.
Absolutely.
Give us an idea, too. You were in the military, the United States Army, for
Yes, sir.
21 years?
Yes, sir.
Now, you must know a lot about discipline, systems and procedures, having the right mindset, leadership. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
How do you incorporate all that? And give us an example of how you, and challenges, how you incorporate that in the business world. Because real estate can be like kicking in doors and all those things. And it takes someone tough to be in the real estate world and to be successful.
You really have to have the drive. You have to have the drive, the desire. What I like most is helping people. I like meeting people. I love the relationship. I love shaking someone's hand, talking to the wife, seeing what they want, out of their home search. 95% of the time I pay attention more what the wife is looking for. When you see the sparkle in her eyes, when you see a smile, that's probably the house that they're going to go after. And you want to gather the information. We're not used car salesmen. We have to use integrity, honesty, and our best judgment when guiding our clients. We're not just trying to sell a house. We're trying to sell the right house to the right client.
And not only that, when you serve someone, whether it's buying or selling, if you do your job right, they're going to use your services again.
Absolutely.
And I would think that's part of the compensation, that creating that relationship, and as it is ongoing, and sometimes even with their family members.
Absolutely. 100%. If you do right by your client, they're going to do right by you. And I have lifelong friends now from homes that I've sold here in Houston that I never knew before. And they cook gumbo at my house. They, come hang out. We spend time together with the family. So that's what I really enjoy, is that bond, that relationship.
And it's around lunchtime, Jerry, and you mentioned gumbo. Guess what? We're all getting hungry. Give people an idea. How do you see the year unfolding here as we're getting ready for 2020 coming right up?
Well, the year is not slowing down. You have all the buyers that missed out on all the top houses and the hot houses during the summer, but they're still looking. And then you have all the sellers that maybe were somewhat overpriced, and now they're lowering their prices. They're doing some of the painting, some of the upgrades, some of the touch-ups that they needed to do. So, the year's not slowing down. It's very much active and very much prosperous.
To me, this is the best time of year to buy or sell a home. The weather is better.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think the other thing, some people may say that the holidays can hinder the sales. However, I think it puts a certain air of festivity, a certain air of days off, more time. I don't know. I think it's a great time to buy or sell.
Correct. Now, they are distracted by the holidays. However, you're right. It means so much to close the week of Christmas, the week before Thanksgiving. People are like, hey, we're going to spend our first Thanksgiving in our brand new house, and they're so happy and excited.
You're exactly right.
Yes, sir.
And with the next 30 seconds or so, what else would you like people to know about the Flowers team or anything else?
I would just like people to know that we're about simplifying the process. We are real people. We stand behind our word. We want to build relationship. We want to build bonds. And we just want to make the process simple and easy for you.
We're talking with Jerry Flowers, the Flowers team. Jerry, how can people reach you?
You can reach me at 832-702-5241.
There you go, 832-702-5241. Give them a call. Once again, thank you for your service in the United States Army, and we're coming right back with even more. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, sir.
If you are a real estate professional, please listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, home buyers, sellers, and title agents, and their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your real estate business is properly insured. Connect with us at stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. And here we go, a totally different subject. He is here, Ed Camp with Hygienitech Solutions. Ed, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bill. Thank you for having me.
Let's tell people, I think it's fascinating. It's something we think about or we don't think about that's there that we all need and even our pets do, and that's air. Let's tell people about your company because you're about the air quality in the home or wherever, right?
I'm about good health.
Good health.
You know, the EPA came out with a term 3 years ago called toxic home syndrome, claiming that 6 out of every 10 homes are bad for its inhabitants, whether it's mold or bacteria or germs or volatile organic compounds or asbestos, you name it. So what I do is I go into homes and I make it healthy. I use chlorine dioxide, and the chlorine dioxide was just recalibrated for commercial use about 5 years ago. It's EPA approved, FDA approved, and even USDA approved. So what I do is I go into toxic environments and I remove all the toxicity with something that is non-toxic.
That sounds fascinating. One of the first things that comes to mind is there are probably a lot of reasons why there could be a toxic scenario in a home in terms of air and those things, as you're mentioning, mold even. But going back to Hurricane Harvey, I would think part of the reason a home could be bad, and you probably had a lot of business during that time after Hurricane Harvey or not?
Well, I'll tell you, I started my company to decontaminate hospitals and retirement homes because chlorine dioxide has 33 virus kills. It will kill MRSA, it'll kill sepsis, it'll kill E. coli, it'll kill H1N1. and it kills mold. And actually, I was happily on my way talking to infectious disease departments and hospitals when Harvey hit. And I got evacuated. I lived in Meyerland. And at that time, there was a lot of Facebook chatter about mold and mold spores. Well, I commented that some of these homes flooded with sewer water. So there was MRSA and bacteria. Now, bacteria is the smallest living organism on this planet. And one little single-cell bacteria turns into 1,000 within 2 hours. The microban, the toxic poison that they were using to kill the mold, and again, they were treating from the cut line down. Mold spores travels. So these remediation companies were not effectively decontaminating homes, removing the mold. I'm not a mold licensed guy, but I came out and said, I will take whatever bid you got from a mold remediation company, and I'll charge 10% of what they're quoting you, and you will pass a mold test. So a good portion of my business from that day on turned into turning a mold-infested house to a non-mold house. Every house has mold. Period. I get calls every day.
I mean, there's so much humidity here,
Well,
so you're going to get some, right?
If there's a leak underneath the sink, or someone takes a hot shower and the exhaust fan is not flushing it through, where you have cold air meeting warm air, you're going to have mold. You're going to have mold spores, and you're going to have a development of mold. Now, is it black mold? Is it toxic? No, but no one wants mold in their house, period. So I use the tagline that I create healthy homes. However, the majority of my business is cats, curry, and tobacco. I attended an HAR seminar.
What about dogs?
Well, yes, dogs are easier, but cats, that's
That's
cats
a
are
whole
different
nother
subject.
story. Okay.
But it was at that Life After Harvey seminar where I was talking about the bacteria and the importance of removing the toxins from the microban. I mean, people were killing the mold, but they were using a toxic chemical that they were ingesting in order to do that. And so at this seminar, I'm talking about all the bacteria and the mold spores that I can kill. And then I mentioned I remove odors. And at that point in time, I became the cat's curry tobacco guy. But yeah, I mean, I'm using chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide works on a molecular level. I use it in a smoke form. It billows out of my system from floor to ceiling, killing everything on a nanoscale. For example, 80,000 molecules of chlorine dioxide will fit into one single cell of mold, one spore of mold. So it works on a molecular level, so I can go into a house and decontaminate it within 3 hours.
With your equipment. So let me ask you this. It sounds like a practical application. I'm sure there are many, but one of the first ones that comes to mind, if someone buys a home, let's say that not just one smoker, but two smokers live there, and they smoked inside the house. So right away, I'm thinking that that's going to turn off potential buyers of that home, because it's probably, unless you have the certain tools, it's probably hard to get that out. So let's say you have a home, smokers have lived there. Can you help that home?
Yeah, realtors talk about the three most important things: location, location, location. No, it's sight and smell. Doesn't matter what that house looks like and where it's located. If you walk into a smoker's house, you're not taking a second step. So there's a process to that. And now I don't walk in with paint with buckets and mops and all of that. But a house that have been smoked in for a long time, there's a process. Usually a seller will try to paint the walls, and that's not good because they're sealing the resin into the walls. But I'll go into a house and I'll do an evaluation. They might need to clean the coils and the AC ducts. My system will cover every square inch of the interior of a home and sanitize the air ducts. But there are cases where there's still that residual smell, and that's usually coming from the air ducts. I offer a 100% guarantee that I will remove it. However, if they've painted the walls without using kills, or if they've not cleaned the windows, where if you use a wet rag on a window on a smoker's house, it's going to be yellow. I'm not a cleaning company. I'm the last person to come in. However, I'm the last person before the painters to come in, but I offer 100%. Now, curry is a big thing from the energy corridor on down. That's the same thing. A cumin seed is a vapor, so when they cook, it's absorbed into the drywall, into the cabinetry. And usually what happens in a smoker's house or a house that belongs to a pets, you're having to reduce the price considerably.
So it sounds like if someone runs into that, any kind of thing, good or bad, it can be an opportunity. So if someone's out there looking for a property and they want to get a good value, they may find a home that someone doesn't want, that has been smoked in. They can call you and do some other things and then maybe have themselves a good property.
I charge
or a good investment.
55 cents a square feet. And oddly, my last 3 clients, they wrote a check higher than the amount of my invoice. The amount of equity I saved them. Now, let me digress for a second. I've been in situations on the mortgage side. I spent 18 years in the mortgage business where you're selling a home and there's one home that sold very aggressively under value, but there's no reason for that. And I can tell you what a cat odor does, or any type of foul odor to a home. It's not an appraisal. There's no one that where you can track that information on why they greatly reduced the house unless you go to the listing agent and ask them directly. But I've been involved in that as a mortgage lender, of seeing why a house didn't hit value. And when you reduce a price of a house, you're reducing the price of your neighbors' houses as well. So I'm helping realtors sell homes, and I'm helping maintain the value of an equity. And by charging 55 cents a square foot, the average 2,500 square foot house is costing under $1,500 to remove an odor that might reduce the price by 20%.
And it is interesting. There's so many things when we think about, if we just have the subject of challenging listings, that could be because they're on a busy street. It could be because of an odor, all sorts of things. But you are in the toolbox of realtors if it has to do with odors, or if they just want things to be fresh right from the get-go when they buy the home. Let's tell people, Ed, how they can reach you at your company.
I'm available 713-298-1449. You can Google hygienitechsolutions.com. Find me on Facebook, or ask realtors. I've been in the mortgage industry for 18 years, so I know a lot of realtors. I'm hitting a lot of realtors' offices. They don't know that a company like mine exists. We're 3 years old and growing.
And do you give seminars and talks at real estate offices and things?
I do. I've done some Stewart Title seminars and some other title companies that I don't have to mention. But yeah, I'm on the speaking circuit for a lot because it's a topic that is important. Also I do new construction. 10% of my business is new construction. The off-gassing of volatile organic compounds, the toxins that are, Lumber Liquidators was fined $33 million for the amount of formaldehyde in their wood flooring. So there are certain things about that new home smell that will affect your health. So I'm working with home builders right now, but the thing is, I remove the DNA of the previous owner from a house, and some people want me to do that. Just start a home with
Just start fresh.
Start fresh. That's it.
Creating healthy homes. Ed Camp, Hygienitech Solutions. The number again is
713-298-1449.
Give them a call. 713-298-1449. And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We now get to talk with John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. Nice to be here.
What a show, huh?
It's a fantastic show.
You just never know what's going to happen. I love that part of it.
Absolutely. The beauty of Real Estate Matters is that you bring in guests that affect all aspects of home ownership, and it really is a great educational tool for our listeners.
Indeed it is. When we think about insurance, that also is important to all of us, and you represent Stewart Insurance, helping people. Your company is helping people every day in all sorts of facets of insurance. And as I said, it's Cybersecurity Month. I didn't even know that till today.
Absolutely. So Jerry earlier mentioned the fact that he doesn't sell his clients a home. He sells his clients the right home. And that's a similar philosophy that we have at Stewart Insurance, is that we want to make sure that our clients are confident in the insurance decisions they make, that they're confident in knowing how much they're offsetting onto the insurance company and how much they're maintaining for themselves.
That's right, every day. So let's tell people, what have you brought for us today that you want us to think about?
Well, we've been talking the last couple of shows about end of the year and planning for 2020, but also wanted to talk to our real estate broker friends a little bit about some of the prevalent industry risks that are out there and things that they need to consider and be sure that they are protected and that it doesn't become a problem for them. If they make a mistake in providing their professional service, they could be sued because somebody feels like that they've made a mistake. If the data that they handle is breached and somebody steals that data they handle, they could be liable and could be sued. So are you protected in a situation like that? If by chance they handle funds, Not all real estate brokers handle funds, but by chance they handle funds, then there could be a risk in that area. And then are there, we all come across this idea of the fraudulent schemes where people are asking us to transfer money or send money to a fraudulent account. If a real estate broker was to make that mistake, or one of their clients were to feel like that they made that mistake, then they could be up for some suit. So just consider that, are those risks there, or one, the risks are there, and then what can they do to manage those risks, and then what can they do to offset those risks.
And when you mentioned the idea of making mistakes, if they feel like, whether you made a mistake or not, sometimes it's that perception that can get us in trouble, where someone says, well, I feel like you did me wrong somehow, and that starts trouble.
Absolutely. That's the genesis of the suit. That's the genesis of the lawsuit, that somebody feels like you've done them wrong. They feel like you've given them bad information. They feel like you've directed them down the wrong path, and they're gonna sue. So even if you are completely innocent, you still have the cost of defending yourself. So again, an example would be why you would then want to consider to have errors and omissions or professional liability policy or plan would be in order to mitigate some of that cost.
And it's very simple for someone to find out what kind of protection they need, how they assess their risk, which risks they want to take on themselves. They can just call your company.
Absolutely. They call Stewart Insurance, visit with one of our insurance advisors, and we'd be happy to help our insurance brokers, our real estate brokers, determine what's right for them, and build that plan within their overall business plan for their organization.
And of course, Stewart Insurance started over 13 or so years ago, and you're right there, synchronized with the real estate community all these many years, so you're able to help them, I think, in a better way than many insurance companies.
Well, absolutely. I mean, our goal is to unite real estate and insurance. We want to be the insurance provider for the real estate industry. So that is our niche. That is our focus, is helping people, whether it be on their home insurance when they're buying their first home or their fifth home, or insuring their real estate broker business. We're here to help.
And it's super fun. As you said, planning is always important when we plan for the next day. Here we are at this awesome time of the year planning for 2020. Do you see anything changing for the year ahead, John, that we should know about?
Well, I think it's just a matter of taking a look at your business. And it's not so much what we would be doing changing as is how is your business going to be changing and what we can do to make sure that you're properly covered. From an industry perspective, I do think you're going to see and continue to see more and more cyber threats and additional types of cyber threats, where they're coming from and how they're infiltrating either our company or our buyers or our sellers.
They are getting very creative. In fact, we have a cybersecurity show, installment number 3, coming up very soon. John, how can people reach out to you?
866-798-2827, 866-798-2827, or StewartInsurance@stewart.com.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, John Bramlett.
Thank you, Bill.
And here we go. As we wind up the show, we want to bring Rochelle Sula with Stewart Title and Amy Okerzon, doing incredible work right there. Rochelle and Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
And Rochelle, you are out there serving people in a tremendous way at our office in Katy, Texas, but also in Fulshear.
Yes, sir. It's a fantastic area. I mean, honestly, it's the #1 growing area currently. So we get to see all kinds of new people, meet new people all the time. It's fantastic.
And like we're meeting Amy this morning. I've never met Amy, and you were the manager out there at our Fulshear branch, right?
I am. Nice to meet you.
Super awesome. Let's tell people a bit about the branch. You guys pretty busy right now?
We are. We're really busy. Like Jerry said, we're not slowing down at all. We're not seeing that in the marketplace. We're very fortunate. Our location is perfect. We're in the downtown
You're on
square.
First Street.
We're on First Street.
The very first
it's
street.
It's adorable. It's that small town charm. So come by and see us. But yeah, we're in a great location. We have a great team. And of course now we have Rochelle, who I call Sula. Sula out there marketing for us, bringing in more business.
It is just too awesome. And I know people are driving around right now or sitting at their computer saying, I want to close my next transaction in Fulshear or Katy, right?
Yes, or Katy.
If it's Fulshear, what's the number there, Amy?
281-713-0505.
There it is, 281-713-0505. If you want to close in Fulshear, and Rochelle, if they want to close in your Katy location, then what?
281 222-7601.
And the other thing to know is that in both of your locations, and for any other BDO, business development officer at Stewart, we're doing things all over the city, so they need to stay in touch with you and all our other BDOs, right?
That's right.
And your number again is?
281-222-7601.
Operators are standing by at 281-222-7601. Thank you, Rochelle and Amy. And now she's back, Linda Hardwick with eXp Realty, as we wind up the show with just a few seconds left. Linda, let's tell people again, if they want to reach out to you at eXp Realty, what should they do?
For a 5-star client experience, give me a call at 713-705-6555.
5-star.
5-star client
So
experience.
we have gone beyond 3, 4, and now we're at 5-star.
5-star.
That's like a 5-star hotel.
There you go.
How do you do it?
It's all about asking the right questions and how you treat your people.
Indeed it is. And the number again is?
713-705-6555.
Thank you so much, Linda. He's back. Jerry Flowers. You can't forget his name. Flowers. That must be awesome. And people can never misspell it or anything, right, Jerry?
That's correct.
What a great advantage. Before we close out the show, Jerry, what else would you like people to know?
That if you want somebody to work hard and communicate consistently, give me a call. 832-702-5241.
The Flowers team, right?
Yes, sir.
Army veteran, 21 years.
21 years.
That's a long time. It's ingrained, all those principles.
Yes, sir.
And that helps people in real estate. Once again, the number, Jerry, is
832-702-5241.
And Ed Camp, Hygienitech Solutions. Ed, let's tell people again the phone number if they want to have a healthier home. They'll call you.
Yeah, my number is 713-298-1449, and I offer a 6-star service.
6-star? Wait a minute. Whoa. There he is, 6-star Ed Camp, Hygienitech Solution. The number again, Ed, is?
713-298-1449.
And thank you so much for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Nampick. Do not be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast. Why? Because it never really ends. You can always go to Stewart.com, 7, 8, 9, 10. All kinds of star service. We're there to help you at any and all of our locations. We're an international company right here in Houston with many locations, traded on the stock exchange as STC. Go to Stewart.com/Houston to hear any and all the shows. That's right. Until next week, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Great things coming up. We have our chief economist, Dr. Ted C. Jones, the 8th wonder of the real estate world, coming up in a few weeks. Uptown Houston, all kinds of things. The Nutcracker Market, you'll go crazy. Check us out at Stewart.com/Houston. And until then, thank you, Rochelle, Amy, and everybody else. Until next week, we'll see you then.